What we did do after we overcame this initial push to ban and said, no, let's study it. We created the task force. We brought people from the industry in. I grew up in the 70s, but I didn't know anything about growing pot, nor did I know anything about medical marijuana. So we studied it. We brought people in from those industries so we could know what we were regulating. And I think that's very important. We had a series of hearings. We came up with some regulations. We vetted those. We had public discussions. We created a task force. There were efforts to push back and ban all along the way. You may recall, I think there was a vote at the county level or the city level. The people, the reactionaries who want to ban will continue to push. But I'm proud to say the city never went that way and this council never went that way. So I would just say to you, take a deep breath and resist the temptation to do with it. If I had one message today, it would be deal with it. Deal with it. Marijuana is in this community. It's been in this community for decades, and it's not going to not be in this community because you decide not to deal with what the voters handed you. It's here, and the question is it going to be a black market activity that's not taxable, that's not monitorable, that's not controllable at any rate, or are we going to deal with it like mature adults and bring it out into the open and deal with it? I say, on balance, given the failures that the prohibition model has brought to this country, that it's time to deal with it. It doesn't make me an advocate for free drug use. It just says, let's deal with it. The voters certainly want us to, and I think you should. So resist reactionary voters, voices. It's so rare in the land of the free that we actually see an expansion of liberty. It really is. Most politicians, what are they doing? They're passing rules and regulations that contract people's liberty because they don't trust people to make the right choices. Here, in a rare instance, you have an actual expansion of liberty. I know it makes people uncomfortable. I know it makes people scared. I know it complicates the conversations that we have to have with our children. I'm a stepfather. I have those same concerns as a stepfather. Do we want to send the right message? Fact of the matter is, kids aren't going to getting their messages from us. They're not going to become potheads because of what we do here today. Drugs are in their schools. The biggest source of marijuana is not a medical marijuana dispensary, and it won't be one of these places. It's the locker in the school where your kid goes, or it's in your medicine cabinet where they're pilfering your pills. So, I think we just need to deal with it. We did it as a task force. I would urge you to go back over that process. We could revisit that process. I think it would be great. It was full, the public was fully involved. We moved through it. We came up with some reasonable regulations that struck a balance. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to strike a balance between rights, in this case now constitutional rights, and legitimate public concern, some of them legitimate more than others, and that's what you have to do. So I would just urge you, please, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. The city's been this way before. We've dealt with it. We went through a scary situation. None of the scary stories that were told when I came on council have come to pass. And I think if we can look back on this from 3 years from now, or 2 years from now, we'll see that we can deal with it. Colorado Springs has a reputation as being this kind of tight-ass conservative community that can't deal with anything and isn't very progressive. Well, but the truth is...
No, your 7 minutes are up.
I know. But I'm proud to say...
Sean, please, I'm sorry. We're going to hold real tight to the time restrictions tonight. But thank you.
Please just deal with it.
And I just once again want to say to everybody, please, no demonstrations. We're going to try to get through this as quickly as we can tonight.